they should be allowed to fish for destitute families. This is to ease the burden of hunger on them during the lockdown. Now, they plan to catch fish and through assistance of government provided to the destitute. Tebogo Phakedi is in Mahikeng and we get this report then. Tebogo, it certainly is understandable, but it does seem that perhaps too many leeways may be offered by government. Are you getting a sense that these people are vehement about their desire to then do this fishing?
Thank you very much, Arabile, and of course, good afternoon to the viewers. Yes, we are in Situmo Dam, that is famously here in Mahikeng known as Tontonyane Dam. And you'd remember that, Arabile, just as you have mentioned there, that the lockdown has really made an impact on different people, changed the normal lives that they normally live. And as you know, Tontonyane Dam, just behind me, is one of the dams here in Mahikeng where you'd find fishermen and fisherwomen in their rods intending to fish. And you'd remember that the initial regulations that were stipulated when the country was facing a lockdown, we saw some of the businesses and some of the people not being able to do what they normally do. And of course, this included those who are in fishing industry. And we saw later on, that is early this month, the Minister of Environment, Forestry and Fishery, that is Barbara Gries, amending those regulations that were facing those who are in fishing industry, allowing those who are in commercial or even small-scale farmers, Arabile, to be able to fish. That is on the condition that they are not fishing nearer to the communities. And of course, this has made a negative impact for those who are conventional farmers. But to speak more on this, I'll be speaking to Kirapetsi Mutingwe, who's one of the anglers here in Mahikeng. Thank you very much for talking to us. If you can just tell us, how did this lockdown impact you or even affect you as the anglers here in Mahikeng?
Thank you so much, my sister, for having us, and thank you for the opportunity. We are a group of anglers in Mahikeng. We are really wanting to help the needy, and we are also answering to the call of the President that we must assist where possible, especially during this time of COVID-19, during this time of lockdown, where we know that our people will not be going out to work, and we know that most of our people are suffering. They are living in dire situations. Now, us as anglers in Mahikeng, we have come together to see how we can assist. Now, as fishermen, we know that we catch a lot of fish, especially around the dams here in Mahikeng. So we said to ourselves, no, how about we donate that fish to the needy? How about we give that to people that we know that they sleep without food, supplementing on top of what the government is doing, giving out food parcels to our people. And we know that donating that fish will also help our people with proteins in their diet.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Now let's talk about the call that you are making to the government. You did state that you are aware of the amendments, commercial fishermen and women, and of course of those small scales being given permission to fish. But for those who are conventional fishers, what is the call to the government?
Our call to the government is simple. What we need as fishermen in Mahikeng and countrywide, we just need permits, because now we cannot go out and do our fishing, we cannot go out and have fun with our families like we used to do before because of this lockdown. So we are pleading to the government to assist us in giving out or in issuing out permits for us so that we can have movements from where we stay to our different dams.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Now let's talk specifically about the donations that you are making to those who are less fortunate. Has the anglers here in Mahikeng perhaps donated to, or are you about to start, or already you have donated to certain NGOs, certain family members?
Last year, December, we have started with this initiative, but it was done in an informal way, whereby we identify people that they need food, that they sleep without eating at home. Then we said to ourselves, no, how about the fish that we catch? We donate it to the community so that they can eat, they can sleep, knowing that their stomachs are full. Yes.
We understand, quite frankly, that it is important to adhere to the regulations stipulated by the government with the intention, of course, of curbing the spread of COVID-19. Now, if you are asking for permission as fishermen, what are the steps that you would, of course, take to ensure that we do not spread this virus?
Of course, we would adhere to the call that we should follow the regulations that have been put aside, that things like social distancing. Yes, and usually as in fishing, you don't fish next to your neighbor. You'd fish 3 or 5 meters away from your neighbor so that you cannot cross his or her line. Otherwise, it would cause problems. So social distancing to us, it has been something that we usually do when we fish. I cannot fish next to someone closer to me.
Thank you very much. That was Kirapetsi Mutingwa, who's one of the anglers here in Mahikeng, asking for permits to be able to fish so that they can be able to assist the less fortunate. You'd remember that there have been different food parcels being given to the less fortunate and so forth, and he is saying that they do have resources to ensure that they add on to what is already being done. And of course, in the Northwest, you'd remember that there are 28 cases rather, that are now registered of COVID-19 with 16 recoveries, and of course this leaves us to 12 active cases. But this is the call from those who are anglers here in Mahikeng, saying may they be given permission to fish nearer to the communities so that they can be able to assist those who are less fortunate. Back to you in studio.
Phakedi, thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. Out in Mahikeng, they're out in the Northwest, giving us that sense. Fishers certainly trying to help the destitute in any possible way. And we can imagine that the plight of many is to try and feed as many people as possible despite this difficult time.